Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Captain Swan podcast, number 103. I am Michelle, to the end of the world of time on Tumblr, and these are the pair of people with me today.
Hello.
Hi, Ro.
Oh, I'm on Tumblr.
Yeah, but Lisa, we did not catch any of what you just said.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I am Lisa, and
Yeah.
you brought me home on Tumblr.
There we go.
I'm Ro, and whatever.
It's going to be one of those shows, guys.
Yep.
Hey, we already have 4 viewers. Hi, everybody. Okay, so...
So,
All right, well, that's all about... Okay, let's do the... I mean, should we... I don't want to start with the Captain Swan stuff because we're all going to be with... We all have strong opinions. Mostly negative, so if you are actually a fan of the angst, you might want to find another show. Let's see. What did we think of Agrabah and the whole Agrabah subplot? Let's do the flashback first. The flashback with Jasmine and Ariel and Jafar and not Eric. And can I just say, what a waste of Gil. Why? Why could I not have Gil in the present day too? What is wrong?
it's not the first time. I mean, every guest star they've had this year has been wasted.
Like, it doesn't make any sense. They're like, oh, I mean, her whole shtick in the flashback was trying to find Eric, yet we never actually get to see Ariel and Eric together, like in the present. Like, I don't understand.
Well, at least
Yeah.
at least someone figured out that it wasn't him, because the look on her face, and she said when he said that I love your people when they're when they're cooked with like lemon pepper, the look on her face, like, Eric, how could you say that? I'm like, obviously this is not Eric. If you're that dumb that you can't figure out that that's, because the way that he was speaking to her, he seemed off, like just not right.
Well, to be fair, Ariel's not smart in the ways of the human peoples. Let's put it that way. She's not she's still getting used to the human people. Although, we were talking about this before we started, about the apparent plot hole that she suddenly has this necklace that allows her to walk and talk that she magically loses by the time Regina summons her to Neverland. What the F show?
At this point, I'm just gonna roll with it.
Well, I think we know by now that they tend to like insert shit in there that makes zero sense. Just to their continuity efforts in this show in the last couple of years have been extremely lacking. Like, so much you could drive a car through the plot holes. So,
I mean, to be honest, they only had Ariel in this episode to get to the shell phone bit at the end. That was literally her entire function in the whole episode.
I guess.
And to give Killian a hug, because he really needed one.
Oh yeah, we'll get to that. We will get to that. So okay. What a waste of Jafar.
Yeah.
I mean, you go to all the trouble.
Good actor too.
You go to all the trouble to cast Oded Fair, and then you don't use him.
Who is a brilliant actor, fucking brilliant, and yet he's stuck. This is what he has to work with. The first 2 episodes that he was in, he did a great job, and he laid down this like really eerie, like, insanely evil Jafar I would even say that in some way, I mean, I didn't watch too much of Naveen's portrayal of it, but being an Oded Fair fan, I would almost say that he was better at it. Unfortunately, in this episode, I don't know. I don't want to blame Jane because I love Jane, and Jane is supposed to be good at writing Captain Swan episodes. But whoever she co-wrote this shit with, obviously didn't know what they were doing, because he just came off as being over the top.
No, honey, no. Jane and I think it was Jerome, are not the problem. The problem is these storylines originate with Am and Eddie. Like, they are the head guru peoples. Nothing happens on the show that they don't want. They want unnecessary, idiotic Captain Swan angst. We get unnecessary Captain Swan angst. They want this Jafar, Jasmine nonsense that totally throws Aladdin under the bus nonsense. That's what we get. And I'm just going to say it. I'm as an Aladdin fan, as a fan of the movie, I am very irked that A, the Aladdin as the Savior storyline has gone 0 places. What the F? And B, that they made the whole Agrabah business all about Jasmine. Especially since I love Karen David, but I hate OUAT's Jasmine. I just hate this Jasmine. And I hate the fact that they had her treat Aladdin like shit for however many weeks, and then suddenly, she needs her city back. Oh, wait, True Love will bust it out of this stupid ring, and boom, it's back. And yet another couple got a True Love's kiss before Captain Swan.
I just felt like when I was watching this great actor, I had such respect for. I felt like they gave him a dose of the Evil Queen juice, because he was so over the top. Really, I felt like I was watching Lana when she's portraying the Evil Queen, and when they're like when they were split. He was over dramatic, over like everything, just over, and that's not the way that Jafar is supposed to be played. And yet that's what we were left with. Like in the scene where he was saying, "Oh, I never wanted to marry you. I just wanted to have Agrabah under my thumb because they used to make fun of me and call me a nothing because I was poor." And I'm like,
yeah, that bit. I'm trying to figure out how that bit jives with, like, I'm trying to figure out how that bit jives with the backstory they gave him a Wonderland. It's like they were because they did him a Wonderland first. They were chained to that story, and because they had to figure out some little piece of it to make sense, that I just totally lost why Jafar was so pissed off in the first place.
It's really a disservice, because the Jafar in the cartoon, in the animated film, was one of the in the pantheon of Disney bad guys. He's one of the best. Like one of the most evilest, next to, I think that Maleficent's probably number 1, but he's like a very close second. So the way that they brought that down and made him just seem like a complete whining baby.
Well, no, and okay, you didn't watch Wonderland, but I did, and I'm just
all I know is that he did not have a good relationship with his father, and his father treated him like shit. That's all I know.
Yeah, but they made his father the Sultan. Like, it was heavily implied that his father was the Sultan of Agrabah. So either father? That's what I'm trying to figure out. It's like, was it the Sultan before him? Was it the Sultan it has to have been the Sultan before him or something, which would make him and Jasmine related or something. And that's what I'm saying, that it makes no sense. That does not jive with what happened on Wonderland, other than the fact that he was a genie. But apparently not a genie. Like, he's trapped in the bottle, but not a genie.
Well, the Sultan could have had a younger brother.
No, they definitely made it seem like, and now I wish Maya was here to, like, correct me if I am wrong, because I can't remember, because I only saw Wonderland through once. But I could have swore up and down that his dad was the Sultan. Which...
Yeah.
Boy. Oh, well, do you remember?
There can be more than one.
Yeah, but it definitely seemed like it was Agrabah. And if it wasn't Agrabah, I wish they had made that. Then why was he so pissed at Agrabah? Like, this don't make no sense. I do have.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I just think it's a real waste to see. Well, as Lisa was saying, like in the pantheon of Disney villains, Jafar is one of the best. And on this show, his screen time is basically the equivalent to what Hans got during the Frozen arc. And I mean, I don't care for Hans that much, so it was all right with me. But Jafar, come on. I mean, I thought about all these things they could have done, like all these other characters he could have interacted with if they brought him to Storybrooke.
Yes.
But none of that happened, and
I'm so pissed they did not bring Jafar to Storybrooke. So pissed. Jafar would have been the villain we needed instead of punk ass Gideon.
Well, and the evil queen.
Absolutely. Absolutely. If they wanted to have a knockdown, drag out final battle, Jafar is your man. Like,
yes.
Hands down.
Although
Jafar, he's our man. If he can't do it,
great.
They can't. Instead, all we get stuck with is Nancy Boy Gideon. Like, really? And you know what pisses me off even more? It's like, dude, you banished her lover to another realm to get her to help you take down the Black Fairy. Did you not think for like 5 seconds that maybe she wants the Black Fairy gone too? If she knew what the Black Fairy did to you, all you would have to do is explain it and tell her what the Black Fairy did to you. I'm sure she would be on your side without you needing to banish her fiance.
About Gideon for a second, I know we're going off topic again, but when did Gideon's plan change from murder to blackmail? Like, it feels like we missed a scene where he magically decided one way or the other. Like, a scene with Belle where she's like pleading with him not to be up with the murder would have gone a long way towards making this sudden 180 in his plan make sense.
Oh, I'm pretty sure he's still planning on killing her for her powers, but like he would not
bother with this Killian bullshit.
He would not have had to banish Killian to another realm to convince her. All he'd have to do is say, yeah, this bitch did this, she's evil, she needs to go, and I'm sure she would have helped him out.
Well, apparently not.
But hey, you know, Adam and Eddie are the kings of manufactured plastic angst. And so, hey.
Okay, well, I've got Lilo couldn't be here, so she wrote me this long thing that I'm going to read some of it. This is her bit about Aladdin and Jasmine and Jafar, and then a bit about Ariel. The other gang would have loved to see more of Jafar. He would have been a great villain in Storybrooke, and a much more interesting story than the wasted split evil queen storyline. Jasmine and Aladdin loved them. Yes. I was actually happy with the way Jasmine defeated Jafar. And about Ariel, thank you for providing that shell phone. Honestly, thank God for that message. A hope speech from the future husband is always a lifesaver. And she enjoyed the episode, unlike most of us. Okay, so let's do the Killian stuff first, because that's infinitely happier than the... Deep breaths, Michelle, deep breaths. Than the... I don't want to use the word clusterfuck, but it was kind of a clusterfuck in Storybrooke. Okay. So Killian on the Nautilus, and he's like, the only way we can get back is, you know, with Kraken's blood. Okay. Yet another manufactured time or portal jumping mechanism, whatever. I still understand why, since Killian's harpooned the Kraken, that they couldn't get the blood from the Kraken. Did I miss something? Did it sink?
I think because Aladdin and Jasmine scared it away or something. When they were fighting in that little dinghy of theirs, they managed to, because it looked like the Nautilus was trying to surface in time to take it on themselves. They didn't realize that Aladdin and Jasmine were there first, And Aladdin and Jasmine tried to scare it away with boat paddles. That's really inventive. and so he had
Isn't Aladdin a genie?
to sacrifice getting the Kraken's blood for saving them, because they were going to get eaten. Let's be real here. They were going to get killed. So he had to do something in order to save them. And that by doing that, he gave the Kraken the time to escape. So that they're like, that's why he was pissed, because he's like, get on board, bitches. We're going to another realm.
But he looked good doing it. That's
he was so like captainy. The whole like captainy thing that he was doing in this episode, I was like, I missed this. I missed this Killian so bad.
Yay!
This is my pirate man, my pirate captain man's that I missed. And I love seeing him navigating over that map. I am sure now, positive, that when he was on the Jewel of the Realm, when he was in the Navy, that was his job.
You mean your cat?
I'm positive that Killian was the navigator. Positive of it.
Well, yeah, because Liam gave him the sextant.
So he's obviously very skilled with maps and reading stars and directions and things like that.
Yeah, basically, Shoke, if we were Killian Jones map porn, please and thank you.
Yes. more being a captain porn. I love the interactions between him and Nemo. I would give anything for Nemo to be able to stay on board as a character for a longer period of time. But obviously, we don't know if the show's going to be picked up for another year. So it'd be nice to have him there. He needs that father figure person that he can go to, someone outside of Emma, because when you have issues that's directly involved with her or with her family members, it's hard to go to her. He should be able to do that because they're getting married, so he should be able to. But when in those times when he can't, it's good for him to have someone that he can go to.
And Nemo, let's be real, Homeboy needs some friends that are not associated with the Charmings.
Yeah,
you can
definitely
give him objective advice.
He also needs someone that understands, the whole seafaring life aspect and the vengeance aspect, because Nemo been through the exact same thing, and someone that he could relate to. And you might not like this, but I also wish he had had more time with his brother. I know you don't like Liam too,
okay,
but still, it's family. And Killian has had a dearth of not having enough family on this show.
I am known as not being a fan of fake Liam. This is true. However, when it's clear that something was cut, because Colin was talking about him and his brother getting like some moments together, and they were in a grand total of 2 scenes. One of them, Killian was yelling at fake Liam, and the other one, fake Liam literally says, "But there's not enough time." Translation: the show is telling you there's not enough time for anyone associated with Killian Jones who is not Emma Swan, which is sad. Even though I don't even like that guy, I would have liked, for Killian's sake, I would have liked to seen him get some serious bonding time with his brother. Instead, no, they have to leave.
I have a feeling that somewhere around between where he was talking with Jasmine and where he was navigating and not wanting to give love advice to Aladdin, but was stuck having to give it to him, and that was the fucking best scene in the whole goddamn episode. Oh my god, it was so fucking funny, and the frustration on his face was, I was like, oh man, this is real now. This shit's real.
Not a matchmaker.
I have a feeling that there might have been a scene between him and Liam in there somewhere that had to get cut for time or something, but
no, but that's not the only thing that actors talked about that did not happen. But we'll get to that later. We have one question about the Killian and Jasmine stuff. Hooked on Killian for Life 28 says, question for the next podcast. What did you think of the scene between Killian and Jasmine in the episode? I thought it was a lovely scene. I'm assuming she's talking about the one on the Nautilus. I liked it when he blatantly referred to Storybrooke / Emma as home, that he misses that piece of dirt he's from.
Yes.
But
Yeah,
I'm
something
so
they can relate to, since
yeah. I'm so annoyed with Jasmine
something
though.
they can relate.
Go ahead, Ro.
Why are you annoyed?
I don't like what they did to Jasmine. I just don't.
I don't know. I find her a bit of an improvement from the movie. And I'm just gonna run now.
I feel like some of the dialogue in that scene, it was a very sweet scene, and it benefited both of them to have someone to talk to, because they were both kind of going through the same thing, having a lover who has such a big destiny and you don't know how to deal with it, even though at this point Aladdin is no longer the savior. But some of the dialogue did not come off right. Like Hook had said, I know what it feels like to love someone when you're not sure that if those feelings are returned. I'm like, where the fuck is this coming from?
No, he's talking about back in season 3. That made sense because back in the very early days of Captain Swan, he didn't know how she felt.
Well, yes.
It was quite obvious that he was in love with her and she was just having none of it.
Right.
So he was drawing on that past experience to counsel Jasmine, who's been treating Aladdin like shit.
I have to say though, anybody that is still gonna hate on Hook after this episode can go suck it, because this bitch. And okay, I don't want to be mad at Emma because I truly love her as a character, but whoever wrote this episode, I'm like, Jane, what the fuck are you doing? Did her such a disservice.
Well, we're not to Emma yet. Calm down. We're still talking about Killian.
This dude was about to fight a kraken for its blood, a bloodthirsty creature, to get its blood so he could get home to her. It was driving him nuts every second that he was away from her. And yet they say that the relationship that they have is so poisonous. What the fuck?
No, it's not poisonous. They have a power imbalance. But I will address that later when we get to Emma. We're not to Emma yet.
I don't care what the haters say anymore. They lost.
Exactly.
ROTPD's getting married. Not just married, sheriffing together.
Hey, spoilers,
Oops,
people.
Sorry,
spoilers.
I mean, I would like to have seen Emma there, but at the same time, I'm glad to be able to see him have friendships with other characters. He's obviously has now a friendship with Ariel. He has a friendship with Aladdin, Jasmine. I don't want to see his whole life. I mean, even though I'm a huge Captain Swan person, I feel like she needs to have a life outside of her too. So it's good. It's actually good to see him.
But no. The problem is that they only ever put him with guest stars who are not going to stick around. If they had tried this if they had given him friends outside of the Charmings who are going to be there, I mean, they try it with Belle when the plot serves them to do it, but it's not like a regular thing. I mean, yeah, he's friendly with Ariel. She hugged him. Woohoo! I'm pleased that she didn't slap him this time. But the point still is that these friendships that he forges are with guest stars who are here for like 2-3 episodes and then they're gone again until the plot needs them to resurface.
I know, it sucks.
That's not friendships. That's passing acquaintances. Killian did them a solid.
I almost wish, like, when he gets back to Storybrooke, can we see him like interacting with his old crew? Maybe it seems like they're the only friendships he's got left. It's me and the guys, but the problem with that is that the old crew is like there's a power imbalance there too, because he's the captain and they're the underlings, and they also have different mindsets. Remember how Smee was saying back in season 3 that they wanted to crew up again and go out on the high seas and be pirates, and he's like, the fuck are you doing? This is not the enchanted fucking forest. You can't. I think they're like their wavelength is different. They want something is moved on, and they kind of haven't. So it's hard for him to maintain that. I feel bad. He needs more friends. Poor guy. But at
Like
least,
the Flash in Justice League.
well,
I
at
need
least,
friends.
at least we know that now that Charming knows the truth, that it's not so bad. It's not so bad. We thought he was gonna like go ape shit nuts. And
I
he
would have
was-
preferred him to go ape shit nuts.
he didn't go. I would have preferred Killian to be the one to
but
tell him,
seriously.
not Emma. To be
No,
honest
but
with you.
okay. Here's the thing, and I said this when we had the Captain Charming episode. They went out. This whole thing is stupid because they're not even having the drama between the characters that should have the drama. Like it should be Killian and Charming having this whole crisis of trust, faith, whatever. But no, they framed it as a Captain Swan issue rather than a Captain Charming issue, and that is where I have my problem. This should not be a Captain Swan issue. This should have been a Captain Charming issue. But no, they decided to do it this way because they can't think of any other way for Captain Swan to have angst other than to separate them for the second of what will be, spoiler alert, 3 times this season alone.
It was like, what was the point of having them go on this adventure and team up and do this together, and then him to find out what he didn't realize he had done to Charming's father, only for nothing to come of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just such a waste.
Mm-hmm. And I am on the fence about Emma being the one to tell him, because given the circumstances they gave us, I understand why she did, but it still wasn't her place. That was something between Killian and Charming, and that was just another way that the show made it a Captain Swan issue rather than a Captain Charming issue, by having Emma be the one to actually do the telling.
Well, it's good that he hugged her, though.
Yeah, he was the only one actually acting like an actual supportive person.
Exactly. Don't get me started on Regina and her 2-for-1 fucking drinks.
Okay,
Yeah.
well,
God.
let's go to the Emma stuff, since this is where the issue lies. Okay, I'm gonna read what Lilo has to say first, and then we'll unpack it. I do believe Emma acted normal, at least partly normal, not OOC, and here's why. From her perspective, Killian left the night before and never came back home. The next day, I'm going to assume she got worried, and the only news she received was that Leroy actually saw Killian board the Nautilus and it sailed away, and even Snow saw him at the docks. We'll get into that later. So, to people's eyes, Killian did leave town, and there was no way to know he was forced to leave, and that only Gideon had that information. She's sad, and she's had this info about Killian leaving because apparently he wasn't ready to talk to her about her argument, her state of mind, his heartbreak, and the last thing she wants to do is think about it. She's not ready to face it, so she drags herself to work to take her mind off the issue. Regina acted like a friend. Again, I'm going to respectfully disagree. She only has this info about Killian leaving on board the Nautilus. That's why she wanted to help Emma and thought that a girls' night out would be good. Why no one talked good stuff about Killian? Well, when your friend is sad because her boyfriend left her, you take her side, you support her no matter what. And actually, she only mentioned Killian with that no good pirate comment and nothing else. This was only to prompt Emma to talk and open herself a bit. In the end, Snow provided a fun distraction that Emma needed, and that was one of my favorite Snow moments, LOL. What I definitely was not okay with was the conversation between Emma and the bartender / Gideon. I know that bartenders might be good listeners, and Emma had been drinking, so maybe she thought that it would be good to just talk about some of her feelings. Seeing that she believed Killian took off and things got tough, come on. I guess those abandonment issues are deeper than we thought. Someone who really pissed me off, Henry, for fuck's sake, what did he do throughout the whole episode? Being on that freaking cell phone. I know he's a teenager, has a girlfriend, but you couldn't even do one thing your mother asked you to do. What the fuck? I'm going to pretend that no one was on that couch. He was useless. Okay, let's unpack.
Holy jeez. Okay. The thing with Henry. Oh my God, that kid is useless. Back in season 4, when Regina's boyfriend of like a week left her and she was having a fucking meltdown and locking him out of his house, he was so concerned for the fact that she wasn't letting him in so he could talk to her and be there for her and comfort her and blah, 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 that he was having like a mental meltdown or some shit. Now he's sitting next to his mother in the house, watching her put away all of Hook's things, as if he's just disappeared, and he doesn't even bother to say 2 words beyond, "You okay, Mom?" "Yeah, okay, cool." Ding, ding, ding,
Okay.
ding, ding. Like, what the?
So I've heard people try to argue that, well, maybe Henry was feeling abandoned too. And I'm like, no, people. That was not how they were framing this. Again, it's all about the framing of the storyline. The storyline was about Captain Swan, not about Captain Cobra or Captain Charming or Captain anybody else for that matter. It was solely about Emma and Killian. And so they deliberately had Henry not give 0 fucks. And believe me, if Henry was upset that Killian had apparently abandoned his mother, don't you think he's an angsty teenager? He would jump at the chance to throw Hook shit in the shed angrily, like a moody teenager. I'm telling you, these writers have no idea how to write moody teenagers.
I'm more upset about the fact that after everything that this man has done, everything that he sacrificed, everything, not one fucking person, not one, can be bothered. Like, the give a fuck garden was just empty.
Okay.
Not one of them could be bothered to give him the benefit of the fucking doubt.
Okay, so let's look at the facts. A, we are told that off screen, Leroy, and you can't see it, but I'm using my sarcastic quote fingers because I would bet dollars to fucking donuts that Leroy was actually Gideon.
Probably.
Because Gideon is literally standing right there on the dock watching the fucking Nautilus submerge. You can't tell me that Leroy saw the real Leroy saw the Nautilus submerge and did not see creepy Gideon standing right there.
Either that or he was in his normal Leroy state, air quotes, drunk, and probably didn't know what he fucking saw.
So it's like, A, we're trusting the town gossip and slash possibly have been people got so okay. But then 2, Snow literally saw and she asked him if he was going anywhere and he said no. So did Snow either not impart this information before she went back to sleep or whatever? But the fact that one person saw him leave, another person says, hey, he said he wasn't going anywhere. That should raise like red flags.
Exactly.
That at least plant a small kernel of doubt that maybe all is not as it appears.
Especially because of all the people in her life, Killian is the one person who has always been there, who has not left. The one person.
Not only that, but if he was leaving like forever, don't you think he would take his important shit with him?
Yeah, his spyglass,
just leave it?
His spyglass, his flask, his brother's fucking ring, people. Of course he would take his most prized things. The Jolly Goddamn Roger? His only home for 300 years? Yeah, I think so. Doesn't that like ding 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 to you that something ain't right? But she can't even be bothered. Her own true love. She can't even be bothered. I get that she has abandonment issues. I get it. And I know that sometimes, that causes you to be your worst self. I get it. But after everything that he's done to prove to her, every hoop he's gone through, the man has died 4 fucking times, all right? And I know, 2 of them weren't really real, but still.
And just like Leela just said, the distracting herself with work, that I get. That felt Emma Swan to me. That I understood. Emma, even momentarily believing the worst and packing up his things, even that I can kind of sort of buy. But my primary beef, I have 2 primary beefs. One is with the rest. I mean, fuck Regina. Regina's going to expect the worst of Killian regardless because that's just how they are. But
yeah,
Fuck the
No
entire
good-
rest of the Charming Clan. Sorry, bro.
No good pirate. Says the no good rapist. Yeah, I don't see Graham coming back from the dead and haunting her ass. Even though she'd deserve
Seriously.
it. Oh wait, no, that was the evil queen who just got a fresh start despite all the shit she just did to them.
Or the hundreds of other people she's killed.
Yeah.
And I mean, Snow is like the queen of the hope speech. You would think if anybody was going to say something to build up her confidence and be like, give him a chance. This might be this might not be what you think it is. Have hope. She didn't even say that. Oh, come on, let's go get hammered. What?
Mm-hmm. And I'm just like, especially since we know for a fact that Snow White is the last person to act. According to us on the show, Snow White is the last person to have seen Killian at the docks. Because I don't trust Leroy as far as I'm thrown. But yet, Emma is not getting this conflicting information. She's just accepting Leroy's story, hook, line, and sinker. And J-Mo made it sound like at some point Emma's like spider sense would start tingling, going, "Hey, something right here." But no, she has this conversation. But she walks up to fucking bartender Gideon asshole guy and starts pouring out, and he starts telling her some lame ass story about Aesop or whatever. I don't even remember what the fucking bullshit was. And she was like, "Yeah, I get that," like implying that maybe Killian didn't love her as much as she thought he did. And I'm just like, excuse me? No. I mean, and seriously, did they have to be tears of sadness? Could tears of frustration work? What is the point of this tears business? Like, he did all of this literally just to get her tears?
Apparently.
And then, I mean, Emma comes home and she's literally still... Okay, I am not in Emma Swan's head. None of us are in Emma Swan's head. The only people who are in Emma Swan's head are the fucking writers, and whatever they think is in Emma Swan's head did not come across on screen. If there was some scene at some point in the episode where maybe Emma is questioning whether the story she's getting from Leroy is the truth, that did not come across on screen. I did not see it. Okay? And I really wanted it to be there. I really did. I wanted Emma to have just a flicker of doubt that maybe he didn't. But no, she comes home, she picks up his shit and marches it outside, still believing that he left her. And it's not until she hears his voice coming out of the damn chest that she's like, oh, wait, maybe something's not right. I'm just like, no, this is not the Emma Swan I know and love. What the F is this bullshit?
Worse is that she sits there. I mean, granted, that was Gideon, but still, she sits there at the fucking bar, blah, blah, blahing into her cups about how maybe what she thought he felt for her wasn't as much as she thought it was. It's time for me to move on. Killian's obviously moved on because he left. I'm like, what? Who are you?
Yeah.
Who the
Don't
fuck
even
are
get
you?
me started. Don't even get me started on the moving on business, because everybody was like, it's not going to be as bad context. It's not going to be as bad context. It was fucking worse.
Worse. It was
Worse
worse.
than context.
I was like, who are you, and what did you do with Emma Swan? What
Have the writers done with Emma Swan is what I want to know.
Oh my god! I get.
And here is my problem. They're pulling this literally 4 episodes before. Okay, spoilers. If you have not been following spoilers, you need to get out now, because spoilers from here on out, people. Kevin Swan is supposed to be getting married in 4 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Why, in the name of all that is holy, would you bring up a story that speaks to their deepest, darkest fears about each other? That Killian's deepest fear is that Emma can't handle his past, and his self-loathing is such that she's just going to pack up and leave him whenever she finds out he did something too horrible. And Emma's deepest, darkest fear is that Killian doesn't love her enough and that he's going to leave her. and yet you bring up these fundamental things where neither one of them has faith in the other. They don't have faith in their fucking true love, but yet you're bringing this up 4 episodes before they're supposed to get married. How the fuck am I supposed to believe that they're ready to get married after this?
And what's worse is that when he does get back, be it at the end of this upcoming episode or the beginning of the one after, you know that this issue is not going to be discussed or dealt with.
No. Nope.
It's just going to get shoved under the rug, just like the post-traumatic shit after the Dark One and him going to hell thing got shoved under the fucking rug there. We were hoping there would be some conversations between them about all the things that he said to her when he was the Dark One, the fact that she turned him into a Dark One against his will, all these things that went on between them. Nope. It's act like it didn't ever happen. So now they have some serious issues going on between, of trust. Whoop, under the rug, no big. We'll just get married.
Yep, they're true love. It's fine. I'm like, no, bitches, it ain't fine. I seriously need the entire Charming clan to apologize to him.
Hey, yes, absolutely. Every single one of them for not helping her, for not giving him the benefit of the doubt and immediately assuming he just left, and also for talking shit about him while he wasn't even there to defend himself. Fuck that. And of course, no one's going to apologize to him because it's expected. It's Killian Jones. He's a pirate. It's expected. Fuck this shit. Killian doesn't. They don't deserve him. This
whole storyline has been so shoddily written that if they had done this in 6B or in 6A, and we have built the trust back up over the beginning half of 6B to have a wedding in 620, I'd have been okay with that. I mean, I'd probably still be raging about unnecessary angst, but at least the timing of it would be better. But no, they had Emma literally keep a secret about thinking she's going to die in 6A and have that be the big drama angst. And now they're doing this shit in 6B, and I'm supposed to believe that they're ready to get married in 4 episodes.
Where's mine?
And I just don't buy it. I mean, and that's the thing about this whole proposal business. It's the fact that they have it's subtle, but it's there. There is a power imbalance in their relationship. Emma holds all the cards. If she didn't, Killian would not be so terrified of telling her about his past. If he really genuinely believed that she was completely 100% in his corner and actually got the chance to take the initiative in their relationship, once in a fucking blue moon, then he wouldn't be so fucking terrified to tell her the truth about stuff. But no, he still feels like his past is going to prevent him from being happy, so he can't tell the woman he loves the truth when he discovers this terrible thing, and they force him to keep it a secret yet again. And I'm like, this has to stop. I can't believe that they're ready to get married and have a happily ever after when you keep pulling this same old bullshit.
Well, I think that's where the rings are actually significant in the pictures that we've seen. Maybe he's finally ready to let go.
That's what I thought, that him taking off those 3 rings, because I looked at the 3 that he's got. Obviously his wedding band, a new pointer finger ring, and a new thumb ring. I think that he's shedding his past and finally deciding that he doesn't need the reminders of who he used to be.
Okay, and I am down with that, just like I was down with Emma ditching the shoelace and the swan necklace. But my point is, it's happening way too late. It's literally going to happen right before they get married. And this should not be. I should not be questioning if Captain Swan is true love 4 episodes before they're ready to get married. And that's kind of what I'm doing. Because this storyline is shit.
I really expected better of Jane. She's never disappointed us ever.
But she can only work with what Em and Eddie give her. They've given her this shit
Yeah.
storyline, and so she can only do
know.
what she can do. And I guarantee you that there were bits cut because J-Mo would not be saying that Emma was, starting to think that maybe something's not right if that hadn't happened in the script somewhere.
And also, one of the writers said that they're pretty certain that he left her a note, and yet no note was left, and she had to hear about this from Leroy, who supposedly saw him getting on the Nautilus or some shit. So
And
I've a feeling that they've cut quite a few important things.
And can we stop justifying Emma's belief that Killian left her with the counter argument? Well, he was going to leave her. No. Okay, wait a second. Here's the thing. In the middle of last week's episode, yes, Killian Jones was considering leaving town. He was considering leaving to find himself, to find the man Emma loves, which is what she told him to do, number one. Number two, he changed his fucking mind at the end of the episode. Like, his ultimate decision, the one that really truly counts, is the one he ultimately made, which was to stay. He was prevented from doing that by a fucking villain. So let's just have that number one. So no. Emma was considering going back to fucking New York. I'm not holding that against her. Am I?
Exactly.
No.
And literally the only reason he went onto the Nautilus in the first place was to let Nemo know, hey, y'all go on. I'm not coming with you. I'm going home. That was the only reason he was even there. Granted,
because the Nautilus don't have cell phones.
Granted, he had his knapsack with him, and he seemed like he was on his way to the Nautilus when Snow caught up with him.
But he didn't have his knapsack on him when he was actually on the Nautilus. It was just him standing there. So I guarantee you that knapsack is still on the dock.
And if Snow had not caught up with him and they had not had that talk, who knows how
he
it would have gone.
Waffling. Yeah,
but
he was
yeah,
waffling.
You could definitely tell that he was uncertain about whether this was a good idea, and I would like to think that at the end of the day he would have chosen not to go, because he had to know that nothing would have been solved by him.
And even if he did choose to leave, I still think he would have left Emma a voicemail or something. That he wouldn't just leave without telling her. The instant the Nautilus submerged, he knew exactly what she would think. He knows her. He knew that she would just assume that he left, which, hey, has to speak to the power imbalance in their relationship. That he would automatically assume that she would assume he just left. That's not healthy.
And this is actually laid out pretty well. I read a fanfic a couple days ago. It was actually a continuation of this episode. It was really stark of how much of an imbalance is in their relationship. It was a headcanon of what would happen when Killian finally came back from.
I think I know what one you mean.
And the whole
ever
since, and from the moment that he comes back, he barely is out of her sight ever. Mm-hmm. And when he is, he leaves her notes wherever he goes, because he doesn't want her to think that he's left.
Yes,
and
I read that picture.
And he can't even go to Granny's to buy them lunch because Granny won't sell food to him anymore because she hasn't told anybody in town the real reason that he disappeared. So he's having to, he's gone for a whole week with all them giving him snake eye, I'm gonna fucking kill you for breaking her fucking heart, when he didn't actually do that. And it's also left up in the air whether or not they're still going to be engaged or not. And I'm like, wow, this is something, most fanfic is like a fanciful thing, but this is something I could actually see happening, because that's the way Emma is, or the way that they've written her as of late. I could see her doing that. I could see him having to leave notes everywhere just to appease her, just so that she won't think that he's left, because the imbalance, it was subtle. Now it's getting worse. And it shouldn't be like that.
And that's why most of the Captain Swan fandom was so on board with Killian being the one to propose and it being his idea and for it to come from him, because everything else in their relationship has come from Emma. She asked him out. Well, she kissed him after the Captain Swan movie. She asked him out on the date. She asked him to move in. All these milestones have been instigated by Emma. And believe me, with her issues, I understand why. But this ultimate step, like this step, I wanted this to come from Killian to show that he is finally secure in the feelings that she has for him and for it to come from a good place. But no, they've, up until this point, tarnished it with this fuckery.
Well, hopefully once this gets all sorted out, I mean, we're obviously going to get another one because he's got the ring on him. So,
well, speaking of which, we've got a spoiler question. Yes, Ro.
So, are you guys saying that you're not looking forward to the wedding now?
We are. We just, of course. Why would we not want them to get? Of course, we want them to get married. It's just, I hate seeing lingering issues.
I'm saying I need to see how the fallout from this is handled. Number one. B, the wedding itself, I'm sure will be beautiful and I will love it and I will cry and all that stuff. But on some level, if this is not given its proper weight in the aftermath and dealt with properly, it's going to feel a bit hollow. At least from looking at it now from this perspective. It kind of feels hollow because I just have this terrible feeling that the issues that the storyline has brought up are just going to get swept under the rug because they're true love and we're just supposed to assume that they've forgiven each other and we're all moving on.
Or the storyline with Gideon is going to take up so much of the time that they don't have time to talk about anything.
Yes.
Which is what generally happens. But this is like, this isn't the fanciful, fantasy issues that the show normally has, like the dark one shit. I could probably let that go because that's once upon a time magic stuff. But this is real life shit. That's real life shit that will affect the relationship that they have for the rest of their lives. And if they don't fix it and address these issues and come up and figure out some way to be equals, real partners, which is what they're supposed to be, the imbalance will just continue to get worse until Killian feels like he is not in the relationship anymore, that it's all her. And like he's gonna feel like he's down on his knees as her personal servant or something.
And can I just say, I'm just going to direct you all to a post that Chanel made the other day where she basically rewrote the episode to be more Emma positive and where Emma takes an actual active role in the story and that she wants to believe that he's left, but she keeps like everywhere she turns, she keeps getting this quote unquote evidence that he's left. And so by the end, she's really despairing and upset and really does think that he left. And then she gets the Shell phone call, and she's like, oh, thank God I was right. If they had done that instead, where she wants to believe in him, but she keeps getting this evidence that he's left, then her despair at the end and everything would make sense. And that would have been much better. Seeing Emma take a passive role and just roll over and to think that Killian Jones left her, not okay.
Especially when you get the other half of the episode where you see him ready to tear the universe apart to get back to her.
Okay, see, here's the thing. When Snow and Charming got separated 15 bazillion times, they always believed they were going to find each other. Okay? And the idea was to get, at least for me, the idea with Captain Swan was to get these two broken people to that point where no matter what happens, they have faith in each other and what they have together and that they're going to, cross realms or work it out or whatever's happening, even when they disagree and have an argument. But no, that's not what happened. Killian had a crisis of faith. Now Emma's had a crisis of faith, and they should not be having this crisis of faith 4 episodes before they're supposed to get married. I'm sorry, but they're not.
I mean, I don't know about you, but it looks supremely, not good when you have one half of your OTP risking life and limb to get back to the other half of the OTP who is sitting at a bar getting slowly wasted. It's like, wow.
And
I
Emma,
knew that Emma held most of the cards in the relationship, but I didn't realize it was this bad. God damn.
Emma was drunk. She was drunk to the point where she knew she couldn't drive home. So you can't say that she wasn't drunk, because she was. But yeah, let's not even talk about Regina and her trying to be a friend. Regina is the worst friend ever.
Hello.
Okay. Hi, Ro.
Sorry, I had to do something.
No, you're fine.
I mean,
Lisa,
I get
Lisa and I were still ranting.
I mean, I get that
Okay.
some girlfriends might do the whole, oh, he's just a dick, just to be like, just so that it will seem like you're taking their side and trying to be supportive. But in this case, all right, it's one thing if you know the guy's a dick and you know that he did what he's being accused of. Okay, fine. But when you don't have that information and you're just going off of like what somebody else supposedly thought they saw, but you yourself know that the person is not like that.
And see,
and there's every evidence to the contrary that this is some bullshit. You don't even try.
That's the thing. All these people who want to I don't know where these people are, but there are these weird people who want to believe that Regina and Killian are quote unquote friends. And I'm like, bitches, no. No. Regina is not Killian Jones's friend, okay? She's not. Because if she was, she would not have been calling him a no good pirate 3 minutes after he supposedly left. And this is especially rich because where do Emma's abandonment issues come from? Regina.
Yep.
Like it's I can't even. I just can't. I just can't. Like they the writing is so tone deaf that I don't understand them anymore.
I think we all know that Killian tolerates her mostly for Henry's sake, because she's Henry's adopted mother, and he tolerates her for the boy's sake and pretty much nothing else. Otherwise,
can we just say that there's a reason why Charming had to be asleep? Charming had to be asleep because he's literally probably the only other person who might have been willing to maybe voice some doubt that maybe Killian actually left. So that when he thought about it and had a chance to really have the news sink in and everything, for him to go, wait a minute, are we sure? But no, Charming has to be asleep because no one's allowed to do that.
That scene was funny. He was like, I just woke up. Are you serious? Oh, fine. I guess I'll go back to sleep. I'm like, no. You could have been the voice of reason in that scene, and you could have turned to Queen, and go, no, go away. If you want to get drunk on your own. And they could have had a nice scene between father and daughter at the sheriff's station, where maybe at some point while they're digitizing files, although you might need a little bit better of a computer than the one you currently have, just saying. That maybe at some point while they're doing that, they could have a conversation. Like Charming might say, it doesn't really seem like Hook's way. Maybe you should rethink this. That would have been much better.
If anyone could have eased Emma into the idea that maybe Killian was not scum of the earth, it was Charming. But no, we have to. But the plot doesn't call for that. So let's make him go back to sleep.
I mean, mind you, the scene with Snow being drunk and getting in the competition with the Vikings was funny. It was a nice bit of levity in an otherwise very angsty episode, but
I wasn't as enamored with it as everyone else was.
It wasn't
I did like Regina's bit of saying, "Do you ever not tattle?" Like that was funny.
I think we all know Snow's incapable of telling lies or secret keeping. That's why we don't give her secrets.
But yes, she managed to keep the whole Lily egg thing a secret.
Amazing.
I'm just saying.
Yeah,
Anyway.
but that was just another retcon that the writers came up with, just along
True.
with this whole Robert thing.
Oh, yes.
I mean, if all they were doing was trying to make her, if what they were doing was trying to build her up and make her feel better, they sure as hell were doing a shitty ass job. Because Snow spent the most of the time with the hammered with the Vikings throwing darts at the wall, and Regina was off doing I don't know what the fuck, but probably dancing with some dude in the corner, while Emma's getting slowly wasted and crying into her fucking glass. I'm like that.
Yeah, it was the worst girls' night out ever.
Yeah, they're like, this is not cute, okay? The girls' night out that they had in season 1 where everybody was having fun, that's the girls' night out. That's how you do it. I don't know what
asked Ruby to come.
this shit show is. Like, seriously. Oh yeah, if Ruby had been there, they would definitely have been a girls' night out for sure. But Ruby wasn't there. So
okay, so we've got 2 questions left about the spoilers. Does anybody else have anything about this episode? Any more ranting?
Okay.
Go, Ron.
All right. Okay. Well, first of all, I like the break that it gave us from the usual, like, not fun that the last 2 have been. I thought the Agrabah stuff with Jasmine and Ariel was fun. And I mean, I think it was a good conclusion to Jasmine's arc, what they started out doing. And I'm sorry, but at the end of the day, the Jasmine in the movie, her biggest problem was that she didn't want to get married to someone she didn't love. This Jasmine is a princess who's taking responsibility for her kingdom.
Except she didn't. She kept trying to find some dude trying to save her.
I know, but and in the end, she found a way for them both to save their kingdom. I just think that what they tried to do, they had the right idea. The problem was in the execution. I mean, they could have made this whole quest for Agrabah a bit more epic, maybe included some more people from Storybrooke, but they decided to just keep it a 1-episode thing, and well, that's just a problem. You know, I like that Ariel is still apparently a klepto. Ooh.
Yes.
Can I have this ring now? But I mean, Joanna Garcia just has that effect whenever I see her in an episode, especially when she's playing Ariel. She's very bright, and I think that helped to counter Jasmine's whole worrisome behavior. And Karen David, okay, whatever you think about the writing, she's just the perfect Jasmine. If you've seen that video of her seeing a whole new world at the con, I mean, yeah, she was just perfectly cast. The problem is just the writing, and I don't know what they plan to do with her in the finale. I really don't. I just hope that whatever they do, it's better than what they've been doing with her so far. And honestly, the whole stuff with Emma, I know how you guys feel about it. I know how a lot of people in the fandom feel about it. Me personally, I just don't want to dwell. I want to look forward. And she knows the truth now, so whatever she said, it was said. But she knows now, so they're going to move on, and they're not going to dwell on it. So I'm not going to either. Ignorance is bliss for me in this case. I mean, everyone's entitled to their opinion, and me, I just want to forget about it. Just look forward to the little good things that we have left in this season. And, I mean, I do find the whole Black Fairy stuff a little mildly intriguing, because that's new. I like Once Upon a Time when it tries something new, when it does new things. And this whole bullshit thing with the split queen, that's not new. That's the same tired old Regina has to learn a lesson bullshit. And I'm just over that, and I'm so glad that is done. I
Here, here, Ro. Here, here.
yeah. So that's just how I feel.
Okay, so let's do these because these are Captain Swan related spoiler questions. So we'll do those first, and then we'll get a little bit into the Blackberry stuff. Do you think this is for Anonymous? Do you think there's any chance that Emma will go to Neverland to find Killian, and that is where the second proposal takes place? What do you guys think about this happening?
Doubtful.
Oh no, I think this is happening.
You think she's going to
I
Neverland?
think it's happening. Yes.
Okay, well,
Okay. Here's the thing. Here's what we know. She gets roped into working with Gideon this week. And I can see at the end of this episode her telling Gideon, she can't get that. I can see her coming to the conclusion that, okay, she helps, she starts to help Gideon whatever. He like reneges on the deal or whatever because he's Rumpel's kid. Of course he would. And she's like, you know what? F this crap. If he can't get to me, I'm going to get to him. Because Tiger Lily is coming. Tiger Lily is not in 16. She's in 17. We know Killian's going to be in Neverland in 16.
Mm-hmm.
But there was spoilers of Colin film, with Leaf Lady out in the woods with the mud, and there was also 2 stunt doubles that one had blonde hair, one had dark hair, and they were ladies, and everybody's like, well, maybe it's Emma and Tiger Lily. So I can see Emma jumping a portal saying, if he can't get to me, I'm going to get to him. Jump a portal, find him in Neverland. And then I don't know if the proposal takes place there, but I think they're going to be reunited in Neverland, and then they're going to find their way back to Storybook together.
Actually,
I have a feeling it's going to go down like this. Last we saw of Killian, he was in Agrabah. And I guess he's going to go from there to the Enchanted Forest.
Blackbeard.
To the Enchanted Forest where he meets up with Blackbeard. And I know in the episode description they said that he gambles his most prized possession, which is obviously the Jolly Roger, because he doesn't have anything else.
It's the only thing he has that Blackbeard would want.
Yeah, because I know some people said, oh, what if it's the engagement ring? Like, well, first of all, Hook would never, ever gamble Emma's engagement ring. Like, ever. And even if he did, Blackbeard's a pirate. Do you know how many chests worth full of jewels that he's got? What the fuck's he going to care about one little tiny ring? No. Blackbeard, well, we already know this because he's been shown on the show that his main desire is to have the Jolly Roger because it's an enchanted ship. That's what he'd wanted the whole time. Matter of fact, I mean, that's what happened in season 3 when he was negotiating with Hook. He said he would tell him where Eric was in exchange for the ship. So, and when he got the bean, to go to New York to save Emma, he had to give Blackbeard the ship because that's what he wants. So obviously, when he meets up with Blackbeard and they negotiate over the game of cards, he trades the ship for, I'm guessing, a bean to get out of the...
The problem is, of course, that Jolly is in Storybook, so Hook thinks it's a 2-for-1. He can use the bean to follow Blackbeard to Storybook, only the bean takes him to Neverland instead because of Gideon's stupid-ass spell.
Right, so he doesn't realize that Gideon's locked down opening portals to the land without magic, so I'm guessing he convinces Blackbeard saying, look, I'll give you the ship, but if you want it, you're going to have to come with me because it's not here. It's in Storybrooke. Get to Storybrooke, Blackbeard will take the ship and
leave. A ride.
So,
well, yeah, and I'm totally down with that. I'm saying after that, like at the very end of the episode, I can see Emma hopping a portal to wherever Killian is, not knowing he's in Neverland. And then 17 is them in Neverland with Tiger Lily trying to get back.
So he winds up in Neverland stuck with the Lost Boys, the few Lost Boys that stayed behind loyal to Pan, even though, Pan's dead and Felix is ostensibly in prison.
No, he's dead.
No, and Felix is dead. So it's just a bunch of, crazy ass kids running around. and Tiger Lily and all that. But because Blackbeard is only a recurring character that doesn't recur very often, I can only assume that Blackbeard is going to get left in Neverland somehow.
No, but my point is that they can't drag Captain Swan being separated for too long. Because
Right.
if they do, people are going to get antsy. So they were already separated for 15. If they get separated for all of 16, the whole point, both Emma and Killian are working together to get him home. So at this point, you have to have some form of momentum on that storyline. So to have Emma jump, and that would go a long way in easing my irritation with how they've written Emma in the last couple episodes. If they have her actually say fuck Gideon and jump through a portal to get to Killian to help bring him home.
Yeah, that
together.
would be nice, but you know
That
how
would
this
be
show
nice.
you know how this show generally handles things.
But the Tiger Lily stuff only has, if whatever history Killian and Tiger Lily have, that only has weight if Emma's there.
Well, she's not going to be jealous of her.
But that's what I'm saying. That it's another piece of Killian's past that Emma needs to see.
Hmm.
So that would only
Can
make
I-
sense. Go.
Can I just add something?
Yes.
Okay. Well, okay, the very first spoiler picture we got with her with the ring, isn't that the same coat she's wearing in this episode?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe.
The long red coat?
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So I like to think they're going to meet halfway. Otherwise, what's the point?
Thank you, Ro.
So while back in Storybrooke, she has to help him take down the Black Fairy. What's the deal with the spider and the cobwebs and all that shit? What's the whole deal with all that?
I thought it was Aragog. I'm like, Aragog has come to Storybrooke, people.
No. He was old. He could barely move. Shelob was a lot scarier.
Yes. Let's go with Shelob then.
And
Shelob has come to
now
Storybrooke.
Now they're saying that the Black Fairy is the source of all darkness.
Oh my god.
Really?
Well, she did give birth to the Dark One.
But he wasn't the dark one then. He was just a kid.
How is she the source of
kid who
all
grew up
darkness
to be an ass.
from her other? How the hell is she the source of all darkness for all the realms if she's trapped in an otherworldly prison that she cannot get out of? And the only reason she leaves it is just long enough to steal babies.
And that's the thing. First of all, we all have the spoiler photos of Gideon and Emma fighting each other yet again in Storybrooke. Gideon is a punk. And I don't buy Emma's ultimate villain being a punk. 2, if it was the Black Fairy, you are waiting till the very last minute to even bring her up. I mean, she's been mentioned in passing a bunch of times. Blue was really weird about her wand, but this season is the first time we've ever seen her, and I'm supposed to care and believe that she's the font of all evil.
They needed more build up with this, and
it's just not there.
Well, fairies are kind of ancient. I mean, Blue was around since Rumpel's time.
I know, but I mean, the only thing we've had of her is in the flashback where he sees her. Or no, not the flashback, but where she's there and he sees her and he's mad at her because she left. And after that scene, the only thing that we were concerned with is this chick slept with Malcolm.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Mm-hmm.
She steals babies, ostensibly, I'm guessing, to kill them. Why would she want to have one?
Mm-hmm.
I'm confused.
Yeah, it's like none of this is well thought out.
I don't think she kills them.
I think she tortures them.
Well, I think they're her sort of dark army or something. Maybe Gideon's not the only one.
It's like if you really cared that much about babies, why didn't you just take Rumpelstiltskin with you? Why did you abandon him with Hoo-Ha over there?
Yeah.
Your whole story's confusing.
If they had just ditched the evil queen nonsense, ditched the Agrabah nonsense, and had this black fairy stuff built up from the premiere up until now, I could possibly buy her as the ultimate villain with Gideon as her little like punching bag. But
Mordred.
to bring it, yeah, Mordred. But to do it this late, I mean, we are literally this is 6/16. We are literally 5 episodes away from the finale. That is way too late to be bringing this shit up now, especially if this winds up being the final season. That's just sad.
Well, apparently the show likes bringing things up late, like the fact they're now giving Henry another power besides just, writing in the book. Now he's doing like psychic writing or something, writing weird symbols for no apparent reason. God only knows what they mean.
This Henry as the author story has gone 0 places.
Well, I like to think it's not the last season, considering what we now know about Captain Swan and their future.
Oh, you want to see them? Oh, well, this is a perfect segue into the final question. From Anonymous, what's your favorite finale spoiler from filming? Wedding bands or sheriff badges?
I have to choose.
I think I know what your answer is, bro.
Well, I don't know. The wedding, the marriage, that just seemed like a given after we got the wedding spoilers. The badges. Oh.
Yes. Captain Swan fighting crime.
I kind of had the feeling that I kind of had the feeling that might happen when they shot that scene with Snow and Charming and the baby outside of the house. And since we know now that, well, we're fairly like 90% certain that Josh and Ginny are not coming back for a possible 7th year, if there is one. It makes sense that he would decide after they vanquished this last darkness, whatever, that it was time for him to retire, have the life that he never got to have with his wife and raise his child, and in relative peace, and for Killian to take on that torch, I guess.
Yep. Here for it.
Definitely. And it also kind of brings Killian's journey full circle in that now he can let go of the past and what he used to be. He'll never not be a pirate. That's always going to be a part of him. But now he can move on and be who he was always meant to be. He's finally found that man of honor that he left behind all those years ago. It was just learning to accept it, which was the hard part. He was never been comfortable with being called a hero or anything like that.
Because my God. My other favorite thing about Jasmine this episode, she called Killian the hero of Agrabah.
Yes.
Carry on.
Was she referring to him, or was
she
referring? Oh, she was?
Yes.
Aw.
That was nice. Yay. At least someone acknowledges his sacrifices. Not that anybody else does.
Yeah. But I gotta say, I like the differences between this particular arc and what he's been through in the past. He's not helpless. He's doing everything he can to get back to the woman he loves. And honestly, I find that somewhat refreshing compared to being controlled by the Dark One, or being turned into the Dark One, or being a prisoner of Hades. He's in control for once. And he's going to do everything he can. He's going to be his best self to do what he has to do to get back to Emma, or meet her halfway, which I hope is what's going to happen.
Here. And
So
it's
it's a little more.
especially impressive considering Killian Jones has no magic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, here's a guy who was able to do all this stuff without magic.
Mhm.
Riding a horse, sailing a ship, fighting. I mean, all these people with magic think they're so hot, and here's the one guy who achieves all of this stuff without any actual power, except the power of love.
You know what does suck though? What's so frustrating, especially now with what we know of what's coming. If Blackbeard does make it to Storybrooke to get his hands on the Jolly Roger, I mean, we know that he probably won't because we're pretty certain that the wedding is taking place on the ship, or at least the reception at the very least. But if he was able to make it to Storybrooke, even if he didn't get his hands on the ship, if the show got renewed for a 7th year and they weren't doing this reboot bullshit, that is the perfect segue into a season 7 with a villain that we've been waiting for forever. Someone who's directly connected to Killian. And they could really bring like the pirate back into the show and make season 7 like really awesome.
Please tell me you're talking about Davy Jones and not Blackbeard.
Well, it could start with Blackbeard, and Blackbeard could lead into Dave. I mean, but yeah, and that could lead into Davy Jones and other piratey stuff, which would be a great season.
Especially
7.
now that we know Davy Jones is not Killian's dad. Bring on Davy Jones.
Yeah,
Bring on Pirates of the Caribbean.
That would be a great season 7. That would be awesome. But no, they're gonna like probably reboot it into, because I heard in another post that most of the TV ratings sites have changed once from being on the bubble to likely to be renewed. I don't know if this has merit, but it seems like
a good thing.
It seems like things are looking up as far as the show renewing because their ratings might not be high, but you can't expect a show that's 6 seasons deep to still be able to maintain you can't expect a show that's 6 seasons in to be able to maintain 1.3s and 1.4s. That's just not how it works. The fact that they're able to maintain 0.8, 0.9 and consistently win their time slot for their night at 6 seasons in, that's a good thing.
Yeah, but the post I saw said that, once it's past its prime, but it's probably going to come back. But for me, that's only relevant if J-Mo and Colin are a part of it. If they're not part of it, then the show is dead to me.
Well, I know that Ginny and Josh are done because Kat said that she got a gift bag of goodies from Josh of some of his props and other things. So because she's been like a faithful set goer since day one. So I know the two of them are leaving.
Well, okay, let's be clear. We don't actually know anything. We highly suspect. But we don't until the announcement is made. We don't know anything. Let's not spread rumors.
Yeah, highly suspect that Robert Carlyle is probably going to leave, and if he does, then Emily will really have no place there anymore. Lana is still up in the air. She could probably stay, but I don't see what other more story they could have for her if she did. I know that they're still negotiating with Jen and Colin, but of the core cast, I think Jen and Colin are the only ones that I can think of that are like the most important need to stay. Because I know that the Regalers will go on and on about how, oh no, if you get rid of the Queen, the show is going to be canceled. No. You guys are not the biggest fan base. You're just the most vocal. I can tell you right now.
But realistically, Regina's story has run its course. Yeah. I mean, there's something, unless they're going to give her yet another love interest, there isn't anything else for her to do. She's already decided that. But see, the problem with that is what do you do about Henry? Because Henry has been such a part of the show, and he's Emma's son and he's Regina's son. If you're going to have J-Mo stay, how can you have Emma without Henry? Or
So
Regina without Henry? That doesn't make sense.
So if they do this like time jump where it's 10 years on and he's in his 20s or some shit, I don't know if they're going to do that, but if that's what they want to do to make it, to keep Henry in there, I mean, that would mean that Jared's not necessarily there unless he's there in flashback, but they'll still have Henry that without needing to have Jared, because they'll have an adult playing him instead. Because I'm pretty certain that even Jared probably wants to move on at this point. He's pretty much grown up with this show. He's getting to the point where he's almost done with school. I'm sure he might want to go on to college and things like that. He can't do that if he's stuck contracted to this. The only person on this show whose contract is not up is Colin.
No, they would be negotiating with him if his contract wasn't up.
And then there was some stuff about how J-Mo agreed to come back, but only part-time.
Yeah, no, we're not trusting Scary Larry with shit.
Yeah, I'm not speculating anything till they announce for.
I mean, I'm just wish ABC would get off their ass and make up their minds.
Exactly, because not only do the fans want to know, but it seems like I think that the actors have the right to know, because they have homes in Vancouver and they need to know, do I need to pack up and move and go back home, or am I staying, or what am I doing? And it's not fair to them either.
Okay, can I get this out? Mm-hmm. What I'm trying to say is I'm not worried about J-Mo for this reason. If J-Mo even if the show came back and if she wasn't coming back, she wouldn't have set up her hiatus like she did. She's doing that small indie movie, and then she's got the 6 weeks where she's doing the play, and the play wraps up right before when Once would come back.
Right.
She wouldn't have set it up that way if she wasn't thinking that she was going to be coming back for Once. So as soon as I heard that, I was like, oh, okay, if the show comes back, J-Mo's going to be there. So I'm officially not that worried. I just want a decision either way so that the speculation can stop.
Yeah. Because we keep getting this idea and this rumor and this thought. And I mean, like I said, I genuinely believe the show can go on in a new direction without the Queen. However, if they were to try to bring back the show without Emma and Hook, and this is not coming from me being as a Captain Swanner person with a brain who has been watching enough television for the past 30 years that I kind of get how TV works. These characters are too core to this show.
That's the thing. Is that, shows to try to continue without their main couple, like the couple that's, whether it's been there from the beginning or whether it's, developed into the main couple, a couple seasons in or whatever, shows to try to go on without that main couple do not survive.
And you would think by now that the networks would have picked up on this. I mean, when they announced their attempt to do this on Castle, that shit went down hard.
Exactly.
With a swiftness.
And I don't think ABC is stupid enough to make the same mistake twice.
I mean,
but the show is either coming back with J-Mo and Colin or it's not coming back. I think the only thing that could possibly be holding up the decision at this point is the minutia of the contract negotiations.
I mean, they should know by now that when you have like that on the show, that fans can heavily invest. And so if you couple, even if it's just one half of it, and you don't ease them in and you just do it and that's it, they're not going to come back to watch. That's just the way, that's just how people are, because they've invested themselves into the lives of these characters. They want to see these characters happy. They want to be able to come back every week and watch them.
Well, and especially if they do want to do some sort of reboot, you have to have some of the old timers sticking around to have the new timers people to bounce off of. Otherwise, people are going to be like, why the fuck should I care about any of these people? unless you
True.
give them Captain Swan or whoever to bounce off of.
Exactly. I mean,
I like to think
So then-
Granny and all the regulars will be back.
because if all of the other characters were not there, regardless if it was Henry aged up, it would not feel like Once Upon a Time anymore. It would just feel like a show with the once name, but not really once.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
basically,
This show was
Go
built
ahead,
That's
Ro.
another-
let Ro
that's
finish.
another That's
I'm
another
trying
thing
to-
I don't get. This whole aged up Henry thing, wouldn't that mean that everyone else has to be aged unless there's another freezing spell or curse, whatever you want to
Oh,
call it?
God.
Yeah, well, yeah, but that's only like 10 years. Because it seems like the girl is 10 years old, the little girl that nobody knows, and I do not believe that she is Elena of Avalor. Okay. I don't believe that at all.
That's not where I thought you were going. And thank you for not
No.
going to the bad place.
Oh hell no! Oh, I know.
Don't even mention it. Do not mention the bad
I
place.
know where the bad place is, and I'm not touching that shit with a 10-foot pole.
Do not
Fuck
mention
that
the
shit.
bad place.
Fuck
Yes.
that shit. Let it burn in the fires of hell because in whoever's mind that thought up that garbage. Because no.
Hey, these are
Fuck
probably
no.
some of them are the same people who thought that Emma was gonna have a one night stand with the bartender, and that turned out not to be a thing.
Duh.
I
Give
said
me
it
a
was
break.
Gideon in disguise.
Again, but still, I don't believe that they're going to do the whole Elena of Avalor thing either, because I get that it's a Disney cartoon for like Disney Junior, like little kids
Yeah.
that
no,
nobody who watches once would give a fuck about,
No.
unless you have children.
Ouch.
Seriously, the only reason I know of it is because I have children. And I also work in the public school system. I'm around kids a lot. So, yeah. But apart from that, no one is going to invest in a character that they know nothing about. So I highly doubt that it's that particular character. But, I mean, if it's only 10 years on, 10 or 15 years on, I don't think they would have to age her up too much. Emma, for her age, she's leaving the show at what, age 30? So they might age her
that's
a little
true.
bit, a slight bit,
I
but
mean-
she's very beautiful, and she looks young for her age. So I don't think that they would have to. I mean,
and just to be clear, in real life, JMO is my age, and I'm about
Yeah.
to be 37. So,
she's
like next week,
she's about to turn
38.
38.
38.
And she doesn't look it at all.
No.
Yeah.
She's very pretty. So I don't think they would have to do too much work to her. And as for Colin, well, damn. I mean,
He just
He's
gets better
30
looking as he ages.
he's
Let's
36.
be real.
Yeah, he looks better as he gets older. He's 36. So if they had to age him about 10 years, they really wouldn't have to do too much. Maybe put a little salt and pepper.
No.
Oh no, just over
But-
the ears, maybe a little salt and pepper in his beard. Not
No,
much.
I think there is a curse thing going on, but I think it's confined to the finale, and that's it. Like, it's whatever causes Snowing and Killian to get separated from the others. And
Yeah, that's based on what they're all wearing, because they all seem to be wearing stuff that they were
what's the
ostensibly
wedding?
wearing at the wedding. So
Right.
I'm guessing that they can't even have that much, right? They can't even have one cote. Can they? Can't even have a goddamn wedding without some shit going down. So apparently they get separated here, and Henry was born and conceived here. They don't get affected by the curse. Does that mean that
Yeah, but Regina's there, so I don't know how that's happening.
Baby Hope also gets stuck there because she was conceived and born in the land without magic too?
Baby Hope?
What are you talking about?
Not Hope. Robin. Sorry.
Oh.
Were you reading too much CS fic again?
No. Just so Killian and Snow, and I'm guessing the Wicked Witch and Charming all get stuck somewhere else in the Enchanted
don't know.
Forest. or
All I know
something?
is that Snowing and Killian are in they're in EF clothes at some point because Killian's dressed like a pirate. and he's season 2 era pirate Killian, by the way, with the black vest, and then
With
when
the
they
wedding
come back,
ring, so obviously
yeah,
it's
right,
after
and
that.
then when they come back, they're like he's still in his suit, and so's.
I don't like to spec on how things.
But that does reflect what I just said a little while ago, that Captain Swan will have been separated 3 times in 12 episodes. I just like to point this out.
If anything is overdone on this show, it's the whole separation gag. Like,
Yes.
it's no
Well,
longer
then-
amusing.
It's not the first couple who's had it.
I know, but
Yeah,
it's
which
no
is again why it's tired.
it no longer holds the dramatic weight that it used to have. Like, at this point, when we see that, all we do is have a collective moan of, oh, Jesus, fuck. Really?
Mhm.
I mean, I saw this one graphic post on Tumblr, because you know how on Sundays we all used to post Happy Wednesday, and now it had this thing where on top it goes Happy Wednesday, yay, and then on the bottom is like Wednesday, whatever.
Yeah.
Then
And it was Rumple and Gold. It was great.
Like then now, and it's for real. Like, this is really what it's come to now. It's sad because we love the show, and yet at the same time we're just so over it. Like, we're frustrated as fuck.
Hence why this podcast is over an hour and a half long.
Oh. Oh.
So does anybody have anything else they need to get off their chest?
No. I'm
Are
good.
we
I'm
all
good.
ranted out?
I'm good.
I really need the show to upset Ro again so we can get an epic Ro rant.
Oh, I do have one thing to say. It's not about the show. I need to say this as a PSA to people that are going to the cons over the summer and into the fall. For Jen's sake, please stop. It's not her fault that she got picked to do a play. Because in the grand scheme of things, when you're weighing as an actor, when you're weighing paid work against a convention, the work comes first. I understand that people are upset that they paid for the pictures and the autographs and the gold panels. Believe me, I was mad too. But you can't send her nasty things on Twitter and Facebook saying that you demand that she apologizes, or you should be you should burn because we paid all this money, blah 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 blah.
No.
That's not right. Look,
And believe me, Lisa and I have a perspective on this because we're going to the Chicago convention that Jen will no longer be attending.
yeah, so we know what it feels like to be burned, but we also know that it's not her fault. I mean, she didn't set out intentionally to hurt her fans. If she could be here, if she could be there, she'd be there. She's not the type of person to duck out just because and go ha ha ha. When you pay for these cons, you pay for these tickets knowing that possibility is there. These are actors.
Yep.
And at any point they could get attached to do a film, a television show, a play. So you have to be prepared. Believe me, it sucks. Trust me. This is a gold panel that I was supposed to have with Colin and Jen. It sucks. And the duo photo. It sucks. But you just gotta kind of deal. I mean, if the
I'm
show
rooting
goes
for Bernard Curry to show up.
If the show goes on to a season 7, there will be other opportunities that you have to meet her / get autographs, photo ops. It's not the only con that she's going to, but please don't hate on Jen. It's not her fault. Really.
Yes, and let's also remind everybody, Carrie Pilby came out on video this week. If you want to see 11 minutes of Colin being skeevy, rent it, download it, whatever floats your boat.
And
Yes.
the Albion.
Yes, I forgot that came out too. Albion came out too.
One shipmate was nice enough to post a link to a free upload of the film, and another one was also nice enough to post a post that has the exact minute breakdown of when
Time
of each
stamps.
of his scenes. So if you don't want to watch the whole film, like me, I really didn't care about the film.
Yeah,
I just
that's
wanted
what
to
I
watch.
did too.
I just wanted to watch his little minutes. So please go ahead, even if you don't like skeevy characters, just support Colin, please.
And Jen, download Albion
Yes.
because she sings in that, doesn't she?
Yes.
Yeah.
Support our OTP actors, people. Bottom line.
Totally.
All right. I think it's about
Yeah,
time
this
to
was
wrap
fun.
this up. It's cathartic.
Definitely.
All right. We'll talk to you all after 6/16, where hopefully Captain Swan is reunited. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.